has been determined by that program. And most of those programs are negative, disempowering, and self-sabotaging.
At the moment, Bruce, one of the biggest problems in schools in Ireland is that they're teaching the Irish language using the incorrect alphabet, with the native alphabet of Ireland being Ogham, the language of the trees and natural cycles of the cosmos. Bruce, how important do you think it is in the conscious world for us to restore the teachings of the native Irish alphabet in schools in Ireland?
This is a very critical point that I've been working on, especially here when I'm in the States, in North America. I work with Native Americans and what are called First Nation people. Those are Canadian Indians up there. And here's the point, very simple. The people from the ancient days knew how to live on this planet. They lived in a world of harmony, not like the world we live in today with business and fear and crisis and all that. They understood how to live in the world, the ancient people. They could read the signs of the earth and understand what was going on. Today, we have lost that in the modern world. And as a result, we're facing extinction because we're destroying the environment and the people at the same time, because we lost that initial awareness the original people had. The original Irish were part of what are called the indigenous people of this world. They had a different language, but they also had a different way of speaking to the earth. They could read the signs of what was going on and live in harmony because they knew what the weather was going to be and what was going to grow and what wasn't going to grow. And I say, how'd they know that? Because the more ancient people lived in this harmony. They didn't have television sets and they didn't have the schools. They lived in nature and understood nature. For me, then, it's important to realize that in today's world, as we're facing a destruction of the civilization, mainly because we're undermining the ecosystem, is that we must return back to the understanding of the indigenous people, because those are the original people that still know how to talk to the planet, how to read the signs. And this is true whether these are the people in Ireland or whether they're people in North America or whether they're people in Australia. The original people were the ones that had an awareness of how to live in harmony. And therefore, as we keep programming out the indigenous people's opinions and voices and their culture, we are losing day by day the secrets of how to live on this planet. So I would say, in support of what you're saying, is to keep the culture alive. It doesn't mean everybody has to live in that culture, but that knowledge has to be an important part of the world in which we live in today. The failure of understanding that knowledge is the failure that's causing the destruction of the civilization and the environment. So for me, everything that says go back and relearn and learn among those original people that still know. That's why when I get a chance, I work with Native Americans in the woods, because their language and their understanding of the planet holds the secret for our future success. And I would say exactly the same thing for the Irish community, because the animists, that's what we call them, those are the people that lived on this land before the church really ran the show. They were the ones that spoke to the earth, and they're the ones that have an understanding. If you eliminate this understanding by modernizing it and saying we don't need to do this anymore, then you're cutting some of the most important roots that can keep us on this planet in health and harmony. So therefore, like I'm here in New Zealand right now, and the original people are called the Maoris. The Maoris are very fierce warriors. In fact, they were so furious, this is the only country that the British Empire landed in but was not able to defeat the original people. They actually had to sign a treaty with the Aborigines here. Why? Because the Aborigines were more fierce battlers than the British were. And guess what? The language is still here. The language of the Maori is taught in school. The language of the Maori is part of the entire culture. The Maori spirituality is infused, even though it's a British, former British, country. It's still Maori infused. When you lose this in Ireland, it would be just like what happened in Australia and in the United States. The Aboriginal people there were broken up from their communities. The schools, they were not allowed to study what their families studied. They sent them to church schools, and they lost so much of their world. And how did these people turn out today? Well, they're at the bottom of the pecking order because their whole culture was turned upside down and lost, and they're just they lost their understanding of life, and that's why we must come back, and that's why I agree with you. You want to keep this world alive, then you better keep the cultures that were here when this world was working, and keep them back because they're the ones that still hold the information that we need to bring this world back to peace and harmony.
What are your own thoughts on regard to Ireland's significance in the development of the conscious world?
Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, the Irish were the people feet on the ground. They were there so long ago. They understood. They lived in harmony. The issue is, when did the harmony disappear? You could tell me, I could tell you. I have a very biased opinion. The harmony disappeared when the church took over, because they said, "Oh no, don't talk to spirits and ghosts and planets and trees. Don't talk to the plants. That would be like against their religion." It's like, talking to the plants was how we understood what was going on. Reading what the insects were doing, we're telling you what was going on. The moment you lost the fundamental nature of how to read the environment and the signals was the moment we got disconnected. And the result of that disconnection is now today the loss of the ecosystems and what we now call the sixth mass extinction of life on this planet. We are going through a mass extinction. We're losing species on this planet 1,000 times faster than background. I mean, there was always species being lost, but today we're losing species 1,000 times faster. And that's because we lost the understanding of us and the land. And I think if you go back to the fundamental Irish nature, these were people who lived on the land and spoke to the land. And if you disregard this knowledge and lose it, it's just another string cut that will cause us to even go down the tubes faster. So, yeah, I'm 100% behind. Let's keep the old cultures cultivated. Let's teach them to the young people, because the absence of this information about the old cultures is the biggest problem we face today.
Bruce, what you know of Druids, is there any teachings that we need to embody in today's culture?
Absolutely, Michal, absolutely. The idea is this: Druids could, as I said, the earth talks to us. If we stop listening and we don't listen to what the earth says and we do what we want to do, then we find, look, we're polluting the oceans with all the oil that's leaking out, all the plastic that's in the water. We're changing the pH of the ocean. How fast is this happening? And this is like a shocking answer. But if you have kids today, in 2048, which is actually probably longer than reality, but they say by 2048, there will be no fish in the ocean if we continue doing what we're doing today. So if you had a kid today, at 32 years, when they're adults, there will be no fish in the ocean. I mean, that's almost like science fiction, an ocean devoid of the life. And it's like, yeah, and that's just the beginning, because when the ocean gets devoid of life, it will ultimately lead to the loss of life on this planet. And that's why science says we're in this mass extinction. And I say, and what about Druids? And I go, they were like Native Americans in Ireland. They are the Aboriginal people. They are the ones that read the signs of nature, that can say, how do you live in harmony? The things that we forgot. And so for me, if you can return Druid sensitivity to the world's population, then we will be on a way to healing ourselves. If you take away this information, for sure, it's going to be a great loss to human civilization, because we're in the process of destroying ourselves now, and we need the information they had. And that's why it's important for us to go back to our roots now.
What do you believe is the one thing that we need to do to shift that consciousness?
It's all education. It's to recognize we have been programming people incorrectly. The programming is so bad. That's why there's so much health problems in the world today. The health problems, I said, didn't come because of our biology. The health problem came because of our programming, our teaching, our learning. We need to start with the kids. We need to have the kids back in nature again. Get them out of that computer classroom for a little bit. Put their feet on the ground. Put their hands in the dirt. Touch the planet. Learn how to live. Learn how to grow things. Learn how to watch and understand. Why? Because The thing that's dying, well, we say the people are dying. Oh, yeah, but the people are dying because they're killing the planet. When the planet is dying, the people die. And so you say, well, we got to fix the people. I go, yeah, but first we got to fix the planet. And I say, how you do that? And I say, get those kids outside right away and let them play and learn and live in nature and stop this idea that, oh, if you give them science and math, we're going to save the world. No, give them nature. That will save the world. That's what we need to do. Let them play outside. Let them be creative, because we're not allowing creativity anymore. Education is just saying, do as I say, which is not creative. It's just repeating the same mistakes that people have been doing for thousands of years now. It's time to give the children a break. That's where the new world is going to come from. Not the older people, but from the young people. We have to stop hobbling them. We have to stop, we're not letting them grow in the world. And until they do that, we're in a lot of trouble.
People want to find out more about your work, or if find out about your books, how could they do it?
Yeah, I have a website, and it's very simple. It's just brucelipton.com. On that, there's, I think, which one of the files is like resources. And I have lots of written articles. I have lots of YouTube videos and lecture videos that are free. And they talk about this whole new biology. And when you understand the biology, when you understand what I'm talking about, remember I mentioned that how life was like heaven on earth when you fell in love, that honeymoon period? If you apply the new biology, that honeymoon period will be your life, every day of your life. And you should live to be 140, enjoying heaven on earth. And we need to do that because the programming that we got in the first 7 years is the programming that is causing our own destruction in regard to our own health and the planet's destruction as we undermine the ecosystem. And that's why, if you get a chance, go on that website, check out these articles, because they give you power. Stop being a victim of these programs. Start to take back the power. Make better programs, because if you do that, you will find that you could have a honeymoon, a heaven on earth experience. Every day of your life, you'll wake up and say, my God, thank you for letting me visit this beautiful planet. And when you're doing that, then you found the harmony that I'm looking for, and that it's available to all of us. And that's the new biology.
Been an absolute pleasure talking with you.
Michal, I want to thank you so very much, and I thank you for this opportunity to talk to the audience, and I want to thank your audience, because you are the people that have the power to make a difference, and yet we all believe we have no power. And it's like, if we collectively decide this is what we want, remember, we're all tuning forks. If we start to send out a new message collectively of health and happiness and love and harmony, the world will change into exactly that. So realizing we have to reprogram the negative things we received already and start to put some better programs in.
I truly believe in what you just said there, Bruce. Yeah.
Michal, I look forward to you living the honeymoon every day of your life so you can tell everybody about it.
I sure will. That's my plan in it, Bruce. Enjoy the rest of your time in New Zealand.
Yes, I surely will, before I have to go back to what scares me, when that's called the United States.
Yeah. How are Trump's chances in the election over, or do you know?
Well, I tell you, if he actually, I just think that there's a large population that's not saying anything. They're just dead quiet. And then the only ones making noise are the idiots. But it turns out, if he actually has any chance of even winning, I will become a permanent New Zealand citizen and not go back there again. I hope for the whole world that he disappears very quickly.
It'd be a very interesting place if he does become president.
Oh, okay. We'll have a different radio show the next time. We'll be pirate radio by then.
Definitely, like we're all going underground, I think.
Exactly.
Thanks so much, Bruce.
I appreciate it so much, Michal. Thank you for letting me speak with your audience. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another show of The Health Zone. Tune in next week for more exciting and interesting topics and guests in the areas of spirituality, relationships, finance, creativity, health, career, and much, much more. In the meantime, check out and like our Facebook page on www.facebook.com/The Health Zone Show, or follow us on Twitter on the letter D Health Zone, or log on to our website www.thehealthzoneshow.com. If you subscribe to our mailing list on there, you will get the Health Zone Show delivered to your inbox every week, and also you'll get a copy of our free book called How to Transform Your Health in 2016. Also, if you have any feedback on the show, or if you would like to get in touch with us, our email is tunein@thehealthzoneshow.com. Well, until next week, have a fantastic, healthy and happy week.